What's up YouTube? For tonight's video we have a full confusing Pokemon moves team. This one is for Patreon. If you want your theme team done, you can check it out in the description of the video under the Patreon link. Leaf Surfer, this one is for you. Now people, the salt mugs and shirts are out. If you do want to grab them, you can check that out in the description of the video. If you didn't know that already, I've been telling you guys about this all week, just for any new people who haven't seen this already. And let's get into this video. So basically this one was about Pokemon types that kind of confuse you, right, when maybe you were younger or now that didn't quite make sense. So when I was, personally for myself, when I was younger, I always thought Darkrai was a ghost type, right, and then one day I accidentally used a fighting type move on it and I found it was a dark type. Right, so let me know, the question of today is, what Pokemon do you think has the most misleading or confusing typing? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd really like to hear your thoughts on that topic. If you're hyped for the theme teams, give that like button some love. This is a battle on my Discord against Sarge. Now we've got a Motham lead here, and we're going to have a swap out from my Florgs. Now this is a special Gyarados I swapped in here, a spec set. Now I'm going to go through all these sets. This is fairly long battles today. I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a treat. So this Gyarados was a choice spec set. We've got Modest Nature, Max Health, and Max Special Attack. I've got Hurricane, Hydro Pump, Fire Blast, and Thunder with the Intimidate ability. Now we got old Primeape coming in here, going for the Rock Slide. Does pretty good damage to Gyarados, but I'm actually running a bulky set rather than the sweeper. So Hariyama and Primeape are actually going to get shredded there. So that was a really good start for me. I was able to take out 2 Pokemon. Now we got the Fearow coming in. I just locked myself into the Hurricane again because it was working pretty dang well. And we've got Ghost DMZ on Fearow. So I was thinking, what moves does this have that's Ghost DMZ? I think this is actually Astonish, right? So this is going to be astonishing. Now Gyarados is fairly bulky, and even coming off a Z move from Fearow, I knew I'd probably just be able to live this and get some damage off with the Hurricane. Okay, so getting hit by that does some amazing damage, people. However, Gyarados is somehow able to withstand that, and Hurricane misses this time, so Fearow taking a lucky miss there, and now it's going to be able to finish me off with the Drill Peck. So Gyarados goes down, but a pretty good start there, bearing the Hariyama and the Primeape. Now we've got the Psychic type. So I always thought that Golduck was a Psychic type, or it always confused me definitely as a kid, and sometimes even now, I was like, oh, it's only a Water type. Anyway, so I'm going to hit by the Drill Peck, doing over half my health. So the strategy on this Golduck set, right, so I want to make it into a Psychic type or use Psychic type moves on it, right? All the Pokemon I tried to use the kind of type of move it was. So I did the Soak Synchronized strategy, so turning the opponent into a Water type, and then obviously we're sharing the same type, being Water, Synchronized would be able to hit the Fearow. However, the Fearow's got to swap out and the Motham is going to come in, so obviously my strategy is sunk there. The other moves I got in this are we'll go over the EVs first, Max Special Attack and Max Speed. We've got Scald, Psyshock, Synchronize, and Soak. So that was the moveset I had. And I also had, if I wasn't able to get the Synchronize Soak strategy off, I had the Psychium Z, so I could just use Z Synchronize right off the bat. Alright, so we've got a Scummy Attract Motham. It's going to protect itself. I'm trying to get some kind of damage off against it, so I got the Synchronized, the Soak Synchronized set. It did over half health. I was actually really happy with that. Now this is the physical set, and it's going to take me out with a bite. It was a good thing I wasn't carrying any berries then, because it would have eaten my berries and consumed them. Now I thought Florgs, when I first seen Florgs, I thought it was a grass type, right? It does actually quite look like a grass type. So I thought, let's make a grass type kind of set. This one's pretty cool. So we've got Grassy Terrain and Camouflage, which will turn into a grass type. And then we've got Petal Blizzard. Now I've also got Facade on it as well, in case I wasn't able to get, or I versed like a Sap Sipper Pokemon, I can still go Camouflage and Facade. So basically, I could get Camouflage to work for Petal Blizzard, and I could get it to work for Facade as well. So a normal and a grass type. Anyway, so I get some super effective Petal Blizzard damage. Now that also worked in very nicely with my Golduck, right? Because I could soak them, turn them into a Water type, and then bring Flogs in and go for the Petal Blizzard. So this is pretty funny. I wanted to test out how strong the Petal Blizzard would actually be against a resisted Pokemon like Fearow. So going for the Camouflage, right? So that's going to turn me into a grass type. So now I know obviously I know the Drill Peck is coming from the Fearow. I'm running a Max Health and Max Attack set. I just tanked that Drill Peck, which is beautiful, and I've got a Citrus Berry on this set. I was actually half thinking put Meadow Plate on this too, so I could get some extra power from the grass type tank. Look how much this does. That was a resisted Petal Blizzard. That was incredible. And it was a critical hit too. That damage, people. You'll never forget that damage. Anyway, so your Fearo's going to be able to take me out with the Drill Peck, but I got to show you what my Flog set was all about, and it being a grass type, I really strongly thought that would be a grass type when I first seen it. I don't know, like, this is sort of a very opinionated kind of based team, so I really am enjoying to read all the people's comments on what Pokemon confuse them the most. Right, so we have the Fearow coming out on my Solrock, and we have Big Bad Blastoise swapping in. So I want to use Solrock because I thought it is kind of confused as a fire type for me personally. When I first seen it, I'm like, oh, that's got to be a fire type, right? Obviously, being the sun and all. Right, we've got a Will-O-Wisp set. I thought I'd teach us all fire type moves, but I've got a really actually quite a fun strategy with it. Unfortunately, this wasn't the greatest matchup for Solrock. Being hit by a water type move isn't it's a defensive wall too. So Blastoise isn't the greatest matchup. I will explain that in the Solrock set as the battle goes on, but more on that one a little bit later. So Inkay I thought would be a water type Pokemon. It literally is a squid, but it's psychic. It's dark and psychic, right? Which it doesn't make sense to me. It should be a water type, at least some sort of water typing on it. Anyway, this set was absolutely terrible. What I wanted to do, right, I wanted to use water type moves on it. So, like, get this, the only water type moves it actually has is Rain Dance and Hidden Power. So I gave it Hidden Power Water. It was absolutely terrible. The other move I gave it was Bind as well because it's a squid, right, and squids can bind stuff. So the sets, the EVs were as follows. I had Everlight as the item too. I had Rain Dance, Hidden Power, and Bind. That was literally the set, right? There was nothing else I could do for that to give it like a water type move. Anyway, so Blastoise is going to go for the Scald there, and that's going to do some big damage to me. Now, I actually didn't have any other moves on this, and the ability, like Hidden Power Water, I had on the contrary one, so that's going to drop my special attack, obviously. I just put that one on there for a laugh because this set was so terrible. Anyway, Blastoise is going to be able to take me out. That's fine. Really, this Inkay did like nothing in any of the battles. I was kind of hoping to come up across someone that had like a 4 times weakness to water, then get the Rain Dance up and then, do some damage with that. But Inkay was just terrible every battle, which is fine. That was sort of the whole point of this one. So Inkay is just basically fodder on my team, and Blastoise is going to take it out with the Skull. So things aren't looking very good at the moment. I've got to get back into this game. There's a Blastoise, a Fearow, and one other Pokemon. So I've got my Darkrai. Now this Darkrai was pretty fun. So as I said, this is one of the Pokemon that I thought was the Ghost type, which is quite funny now. I think back and I think about it, and I'm like, Darkrai. It's Dark type, right? I know it's just one. You know how you do those things as kids. Anyway, so this is a special defensive wall, right? We've got on this set. We've got a Sleep Talk rest set. We've got Nightshade and Toxic. I thought that was quite ironic because I was like, I wonder if Darkrai could. It would be so funny if Darkrai could give itself bad dreams. Anyway, so the idea of the set is just to stall out the opponent, get a Toxic on them, and do some fixed damage with Nightshade. I really had to nerf this down because Darkrai is like a. Did I just say Darkrai? I mean, it's not Darth Vader, guys. I really want to nerf this set down because Darkrai is a really amazingly strong Pokemon, and I want to use like a real gimmick set. Now, this is a max health, max special defense, very, very bulky for a Darkrai. Leftovers as the item too. So I'm stalling out this Blastoise, which had a pretty interesting set too. All right, so now we got the Blastoise swapping out. Obviously, it can't do too much to me, and we got the Fearow coming in. Now, Fearow's going to be able to freely come into my Nightshade because it's being a ghost type. I can go for the Toxic, but I thought, nah, Solrock would be actually a pretty good swap in for this because, normal and flying, both those things that actually resist. So I get to actually show off my Solrock set here rather well. I really get to show it off to its fullest extent. So Solrock, I thought, well, being a Fire-type Pokemon and all, I want to give it some Fire-type moves, or being confusing as a Fire-type Pokemon. So we've got Will-O-Wisp and Fire Spin, right? So it's like a trapping combo. Now, I also got Morning Sun on this, which I thought would be interesting too. So Morning Sun is going to heal it up. And I've also got Sunny Day on this. So the idea is, if you can, to set up the Sunny Day right. Now, that's going to help out with Fire Spin damage. It's going to bolster it, and it's going to make Morning Sun heal you more. I've got max health and max defense, and I've got the Flame Plate, and I've got, obviously, Levitate ability. I bet you never saw that one. Anyway, so we got the Drill Pecs coming from the... we got the Astonish coming from the Fearow. It really can't do much for me. I've really walled it here. I'm getting the Sunny Day off. So Sunny Day is going to be able to heal me rather nicely. So you can pretty much, especially physical attackers, you can get the Fire Spin off first. And if you're quite confident you can live another hit, you can then go for Will-O-Wisp and trap them in. So they're taking the Fire Spin damage and the burn damage from Will-O-Wisp at the same time. I've run a lot of these trapping sets. They work rather nicely. This is more of a gimmick, though, because I kind of gave it 3 fire-type moves. But it fitted in with the theme rather nicely. Anyway, so Fearow's going to show its feathery butt to me and try and take me out and flinch me, but that is not going to be the case. I'm able to get a Morning Sun off and heal myself up rather nicely. I actually had a set very similar to this, too. I had like a Rest, Sleep, Talk, Fire Spin Toxic set that worked rather nicely too. You can kind of alternate between like Fire Spin and Will-O-Wisp or Fire Spin and Toxic. Mostly Fire Spin and Toxic are more effective because you can down the opponent a little bit quicker. So now we got Shiftry coming in, go for that big knockoff, almost taking him out. I wish I went for the Will-O-Wisp there. I'm going to go for the Fire Spin instead for some major damage. However, I still got my Darkrai in the back, so I thought, yeah, he should be okay. So getting some more damage from the Fire Spin. Now the Shifter is going to be able to take me out with the C-Bomb, so that's cool. It's clearly a physical set. So Darkrai isn't the most bulkiest Pokemon in defense. This one was max health though, so I was hoping I could at least get the Toxic off and then rest off and maybe try and get some Nightshades right. So we still got the Blastoise and the Shiftry left. Darkrai's my last Pokemon. I'm burned. I'm not too concerned about that because, as you remember, I do have rest. So Shiftry is going to go for Protect, obviously seeing what I'm going to use, which is going to be Protect. The Toxic on the Protect. So I've got the Leftovers Recovery on my Darkrai, which is going to heal me off. That's going to be pretty good too. So at this point, we have the Shiftry actually staying in, getting hit with a Toxic, which is really nice, because they really didn't have, obviously, much hit outside of the fixed damage from, the Nightshade. If it did have any setup type moves, I at least wanted to get a Toxic on it, right? So now, Shiftry is going to go for the C-Bomb. It does pretty good damage, but I know that I'm quite bulky enough to actually live that one. The next one and get the rest off, and then I can start going for some fixed damage moves, right? Oh, I'm stumbling over the word fixed at the moment. So Darkrai can go for the easy rest there. However, we got the Shiftry swapping out, and we got the Blastoise coming in. So I was like, oh, this is good. Blastoise really can't touch me at all, right? So finally revealing that I've got rest on my Darkrai, which is kind of quite ironic considering I've got Bad Dreams ability. How bad would that be, right? If you use rest on Darkrai and then it affected itself by Bad Dreams. Anyway, so the Blastoise has got the Leftovers, which is going to heal up a little bit. It's already got the burn from earlier, so that's going to take most of the damage that already healed off. Now, I'm outspeeding, even with my all my stuff invested in special defense and health. I'm able to outspeed the Blastoise. Now getting off the Nightshade, so I don't get Sleep Talk Rest, which is really nice. Nightshade gets some good damage there. Now Blastoise is going to go for Scald. It does pretty good damage to me, but since I'm max special defense, I'm going to be able to tank that one really nicely. So it's about about a 300 hit KO for the Blastoise. Right, so Blastoise is going to go down in a couple of turns to the burn, but I really would like to get another Nightshade off. However, I am still asleep for one turn, so I've got to rely on the old Sleep Talk Rest. So I go for the Sleep Talk on my Darkrai again, and guess what, guys? I get 2 Nightshades in a row. Man, that doesn't happen to me very often at all. I'm going to take a drink because that doesn't happen very often. Right, we got 2 Nightshades in a row. Blastoise is down. So all we got left, right, is the Shiftry. Now, as you know, I'm going to wake up this turn. I have been asleep for 2 turns. Shiftry is going to come in. I know that I'm going to get a Nightshade damage off against it, and I outspeed it too, which is really good. So I'm going to go for that one. Now, it's very, very close whether I'm actually going to be able to take it out with the Nightshade. Now, next turn, I wasn't actually too sure. So the Shiftry is going to go for the knockoff, knocking off my Leftovers. Toxic only does a little bit of damage to me too. So I thought, no, I'm just going to go for Nightshade. This should be actually enough to take it out. And guess what, guys? It lives on like 1 health. T-shirts available. And thanks, Shiftry, for giving me the opportunity to plug my merch. And now it's going to hit me with the C-Bomb. I'm able to live that on 29 health. And it's going to go down to the Toxic. And that is game. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was a very fun battle there. Definitely handy getting those Sleep Talk Nightshades off against that Blastoise too. Okay. The next battle we have was on my Discord too. This one was against Wolfram. So we have a Psychic lead being my Golduck. Now real quick, I want to say why this sets up Scummy Web. Thank you to all the people that rocked up to my stream yesterday. It was very, very fun. We haven't done a live honey hunt for like, like a month or 2, maybe even 3. So if you didn't see that one, that's on my channel too. It was very, very entertaining. And thank you to all the people that, supported by watching it and donating as well. So you were so generous. Okay, so getting rid of the whoop. And now we got the Trevenant coming in. So we're going to take out this Trevenant. I thought I had a really good idea. So I'm like, let's soak the old tree. Let's water. I wish that would have been Sudowoodo, because I could have said, let's water the Sudowoodo. Anyway, so Trevenant's going to go for the Horn Leech. I'm able to tank that one due to that soak, which is nice. So now I'm going to go for the Synchronize on the Trevenant. I love Synchronize. Synchronize has to be one of my favorite moves. And now the Trevenant's going to go for the Horn Leech again. That's going to take out my Gold Archon Fortune. I just really couldn't do too much damage against it, but I wanted to use the Synchronize Cob on it. Trevenant itself was very, very bulky too, so I was kind of hoping for a 2-hit KO or a critical hit. That would have been even better. So now swapping into my Grass type, which is Flogs. I wonder if someone's like going to just click onto this video, right, and click onto a certain point and be like, but Flogs isn't a Glass type. Anyways, did I just say Glass type? I mean Grass type. So now we got the Trevenant going for a Z move, which is going to boost its stats with its Z power, and it's going to be the Z Forest Curse Rite. Now this is actually quite funny. So the Flogs Rite has been turned into a Grass type already, so it's like, oh, this is awesome. I don't even need to turn myself. I don't even need to use Camouflage Rite. So now setting up the grassy terrain, which is going to bolster the grass type moves, and I could go for the Petal Blizzard on the Trevenant and try and take it out. This would be amazing. However, it's going to be that scummy Forest Curse Poison Jab set, and it's going to take me out. I didn't stand a ghost of a chance. Flogs is going to go down, but man, I would have loved to get that Petal Blizzard off. It would have been amazing. So I'm in a little bit of a bind at the moment. I should have swapped out. I should have swapped in my NK and used bind then. So I've got my bulky Darkrai. I want to get my Toxic off on this thing at least. However, they're going to go for the Forest Curse again. So this is like spamming Forest Curse on me. I really love the animation on Forest Curse too, and the Z move. It's very, very cool. So thankfully, I get the Toxic off. It doesn't miss or anything, which was really nice. So now I can opt to go for the Nightshade, or this thing's going to start using Poison Jab against me too, which is going to kind of be annoying. So I thought I might be able to swap into another Pokemon, save my Darkrai for a little bit later on, right? So now we got the Dragon coming in, which is my Gyarados. This is a special attacking Gyarados, which works really nicely. And I'm also getting the Intimidate off, dropping the attack of the Trevenant. So Trevenant's going to go for the Poison Jab against my Gyarados. It still does pretty good damage, and it poisons me. Of course it poisons me. So we got the, unfortunately that grassy terrain is kind of working against me at the moment. It is healing up a lot of that toxic damage, but that's okay, I guess. So I was hoping here, I was thinking, should I go for the Hurricane or should I go for the Fire Blast? However, it's going to go for yet another. Guys, there's so many trees on the field at the moment, it's not funny. So there's like a forest of trees. However, I'm going to go for the Thunder. Now, if you remember, it's actually a water type, and that Soak is going to take it out almost. However, the Toxic is going to have a couple of turns of racking up, and that's going to take itself down. So I really like moves like Soak. It's cool because you can change types, and then you can swap in another type to take advantage of it, or you can use on a type that couldn't normally be affected by a move. It's a really interesting kind of move. I think there needs to be more of them. What do you think? So now we've got the Fearow coming in. I just decided to stay in for the Thunder. However, I'm going to get hit by... since I'm like, obviously I'm super effective to that due to the Forest Curse, Fearow is going to take me out. There wasn't really much I wanted to swap into there either. Okay, so now we're bringing the most useful Pokemon on our team, which is Inkay. It actually gets the Sticky Web Contrary boost. Now, I only had, like as I said, I only had Hidden Power Water on the Contrary one. I didn't have it on the other one, so that's kind of why I used it. So go for the Rain Dance, turning upside down. I was hoping this Hidden Power Water would take out the Fearow, guys. It's going to do mega damage. I know you're desperately waiting to see it. Alright, so anyway, the Fearow is going to go for a Giga Impact. And yeah, even with the Everlight, that laser focus is going to be enough to take me out with a critical hit. We all know that critical hit matters. Inko goes down again. So I've only got my Darkrai left, which is the bulkiest Pokemon on the team. Now this bit here, I was actually playing this in bed, right? I mistakenly actually swapped in my Darkrai here. I was meant to go into my Solrock because, Solrock is a good swap in for Fearow. This is like deja vu from the first battle. Anyway, so unfortunately there, I derped and went into my Darkrai instead of my Solrock. However, we got the laser focus coming from the Fearow again. So Will-O-Wisp is going to hit, thank goodness, and that's going to burn the Fearow. So I'm going to get credited by... Well, I'll get credit right, but the hits won't hit me as hard. And plus, I'm very bulky in defense too, right? Anyway, so I can go, I was thinking I could go for the sunny day here, right? And that's going to change the weather. Then Fire Spin will do some more damage, and then I can go for the Morning Sun, right? Okay, so the Giga Impact obviously hits me the crit. It doesn't do too much damage at all, which is nice. So Furo clearly can't do too much damage against me, which is good too. So getting up the Sunny Day against the Furo. Now, as I said, the Furo is going to obviously swap out here or just stay in because it's pretty much dead weight down. The battle at the moment is very, very uneven too. I've got to clutch my way back into this. So getting up the Fire Spin on the Furo, which is good. Getting some fixed damage and getting some burn damage, which is cool too. Now the Furo actually, this Furo actually had Mirror Move as well. So it's going to Mirror Move my my Fire Spin. I was like, after I was like, oh crap, I don't really want to use Morning Sun, right? Because then Furo could Mirror Coat my Morning Sun and heal itself off. And I'd be salty as. So anyway, getting some more damage on the Furo with the Fire Spin and the Bird. I'm a little bit dubious to use Morning Sun though. I just want to take it outside. So I could go for the Fire Spin and take this Furo out there this turn as well. Okay, so Furo's going to go for Giga Impact, getting enough damage obviously in before it goes down, which is not too much. And I'm going to go for Fire Spin and take out the Furo finally. So it's good shutting that down. This sort of, with the Solrock, right, the Solrock and the Darkrai kind of work together as a core. I tried to, that was sort of my bulky Pokemon team. Well, if you think about it, right, when you've got a bulky Darkrai and a Solrock isn't too bad, I guess, but when you're using a bulky Darkrai and a bulky Solrock core, you know things are interesting. So now we got Chimecho coming in. This is really funny, right? So I'm going to go for the Morning Sun, Scummy Sun, and healing up myself. We've got a trapping move here. So the Chimecho is going to trap me in with a Wrap. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. I'm also a trapping Pokemon too. So I was like, I'm going to humor them. I'm going to go for the Fire Spin too and trap them in, right? This will be quite funny. I wonder who the trapping master is going to be. So go for the Fire Spin, trapping that Chimecho. Now, if I missed there, that would have been devastating because the Chimecho used Perish Song. So what's going to happen now is we're both trapped in for 3 turns. We both cannot swap, which means we're essentially both going to go down to the Perish Song, right? So it's going to be like a double KO. I love that Wrap animation. It looks so out of place, but it looks so cool. Anyway, so we're both trapped in here. Now, the Chimecho obviously is a fairly bulky set. I know that it gets stuff like Heal Bell, Recover, but there's no way it can actually swap out, right? So it's going to go for Protect. It doesn't really matter because I don't really have much to hit it with anyway. And we're both going to go down to the Perish Song. Now, someone will probably ask, I've done a Perish Song team already. That one's already done. Okay, anyway, so getting a little bit more damage from the Wrap. There's no way this Chimecho is going to be able to do enough damage to actually take me out. I also have Morning Sun as well, which is going to help me out lots. So we're down to 2 turns now. Going for Fire Spin, I just thought there's no point like stalling or using Morning Sun or anything because we're both going to go down. So the Chimecho is just going to go for Recover. That's fine. It doesn't really matter or anything. We're both going to go down and set time. As I said before, if that Fire Spin missed earlier on, the Chimecho would have been able to swap out, right? Well, then again, it wouldn't have been able to swap out because then I could have swapped out. It could have been able to swap out at the last moment. So we would have had to like protect afterwards, then dodge it again, I guess. But still, that could have been really bad. So go for the Sunny Day now. I know there is a Pokemon left that any Water type Pokemon or Water type moves used against me that might help out or something like that. So anyway, my Solrock is going to get wrapped. The Chimecho is going to get its last round of leftovers, and we're both going to get KO'd. And I need a drink. I need another drink, people. Okay, so Chimecho is Perish Scout's going to go down to 0, and so is my Solrock. So rip, guys, the sun just fainted. Seriously though, why is that not have a fire typing to it? It always kind of confused me. So the last Pokemon we've got, as usual, is the Darkrai, the bulky Darkrai. People, man, this thing was MVP in a lot of the battles. So we got Empoleon, right? So I thought to set up Sunny Day because I knew they had Empoleon. That was my reasoning for setting up on the last set. Now, watch what this set is, right? So I went for the Nitro, and like, this is some nice fixed damage on Empoleon. If it does stuff like a Water type move, it's not going to do much. So Empoleon's going to go for the Iron Defense. I love that animation so much. Bolstering its defense by 2 stages. I'm like, that's interesting. They know that I've got a fixed damage move. I wonder what they're up to. So going for another Nightshade on the Empoleon. So it's about a 4-hit KO. They're going to go for Sword Dance. I'm like, okay. They've got a +2 in attack, and they've got a +2 in defense. I'm like, that's interesting, okay. So now go for another Nitro. So bugger it, let's go for another one. I only need actually 4 to take this thing out. It's going to go for a Power Trip. It's a Power Trip Empoleon. I love that stuff. Unfortunately, since I'm a Dark type, it's not going to do very much damage to me. But props to that amazing set. Iron Defense, Sword Dance, and Power Trip. Anyway, so go for another Nightshade on the Empoleon. And that's going to be enough to take old Tungsten down. So we've got one more Pokemon left. I was wondering what kind of set this is going to be. So getting some leftover recovery too. Now the problem was this last Pokemon was really scary against my Darkrai, right? You can probably guess what it is by its nickname. It's the Hitmonchan. So like, please be a scummy focus miss set since I'm bulking in special defense. This will be the most amazing feat. Darkrai beating Hitmonchan without any attacking moves. So getting the Toxic off on the Hitmonchan. And guys, it's got Drain Punch. Rest in peace, Darkrai. Go to sleep. That's it for this battle, people. Hope you enjoyed this. Now, don't go away. There's a really, really good bonus battle. You guys have got to check this out, and there's a pretty salty blooper too. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace. Been up for 24 hours.